Good morning and welcome to our kitchen. I'm Gordy Galusha.
I'm Nancy Ostrash.
And today we're going to be making veggie, noodle, ham, casserole, and cherry pie cookie bars. And I'm going to start off with my cookie bars. In my bowl, I have 1.5 cups of sugar, 1 1/3 cups of butter, which is 2 sticks and 5 extra tablespoons, and 1/2 of an orange zest. I'm going to mix these together. Make sure when you're mixing these that you mix them long enough to make them light and fluffy, which should probably be about 1 or 2 minutes with the electric mixer. This is supposed to be done in a stand mixer, but it's too heavy to carry, so I have my little mixer, which is just as good. Okay, I'm going to keep, this looks like it's pretty good shape. Okay, I'm going to add 2 eggs, 1 at a time. Whoops. Mix them up in between. Okay, that's mixed up pretty good. I'll put in the extra egg. Okay, mix that good. Okay, I'm going to put a teaspoon of vanilla extract in here. Okay, I'm going to mix that. Okay. In my bowl here, I have the dry ingredients, which is 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to add some of this to my batter. Before I go any further, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of milk. Okay, I'm going to mix this up. Okay, that is pretty good. So I'm going to put the rest of my flour ingredients in. I'm going to mix this. I'm going to add another tablespoon of milk. This looks like it makes a lot of dough. What? Make sure that it's mixed well. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to press part of this into my pan. Okay, I have a 9 by 13 pan. My hands are clean, and I'm going to press some of this in here. This smells good. It's got orange zest in it. It smells good. Okay. These are very good. I hope you try them. Gotta stretch it. It's pretty pliable. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do this again. Sometimes it looks a little thicker at one end than it does the other, so you got to flatten it out a little bit more. Okay. Okay, to this I'm going to add a can of cherry pie filling. This is not too hard to make.
I think we try to do things that are easy to put together because we're afraid.
What's that?
I said, I think when we look for recipes, we
Oh, I know.
tend to get recipes that are easy to put together, not only for
Our time.
but also maybe it won't come out as well as we would like to do it, or like have it come out. So we leave that to by ourselves in our own kitchen.
Okay. That's what it looks like with a cherry pie filling on. Now I'm going to put this on like this. Okay, this is what it looks like when all the dough is put on. Now I'm going to bake it in an oven, 375 oven for 35 to 40 minutes until the edges are golden and it is set in the middle. Okay, I'm going to set that for 38 minutes. Okay, and on to Nancy.
Okay, thank you. Like I said before, when we pick recipes, we want to make sure we don't flub up while we're being videotaped. And casseroles, for me, are one of the easier things to put together. At this moment, I've got to drain. If I drained my noodles ahead of time, by the time I got to putting them into the recipe, they'd be all stuck together and wouldn't be that good. So, my veggie noodle ham casserole is just a matter of putting different ingredients together. And I don't have to cook down, saute anything, onions or peppers or anything today. I have cooked half of a 12-ounce package of egg noodles, and they're draining right now. And I'm going to start out in a large bowl, 1 can of cream of chicken soup. This recipe I cut in half because I didn't want to make 8 to 10 servings, even though we sometimes have tasted afterwards. Still is too much to get rid of, or we'd be eating it 2 people for 4 days. So to this can of cream of chicken soup, I'm going to add some left over, which I'll see if I want to add after I've mixed things together. This will serve 4 to 5 people. To that, I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of milk. One cup of frozen corn, and if you have fresh corn and season another month or 2 here, fresh corn is even better. So I've got 1 cup of frozen corn that I've thawed. And 1 cup of, or 3/4 to a cup of the California blend, and that's the cauliflower, the broccoli, and the carrot frozen. And I've let that thaw out. This is a real colorful mixture.
Springy. No, today's the first day of summer. Summery.
Summery, yeah. Now, if you were making double this recipe, of course you would be doubling the ingredients, and in place of the 2 cream of chicken soup, the other soup was cream of broccoli. Wasn't going to open 2 cans and use a half and a half, so mine is just plain cream of chicken. And then 1 cup of fully cooked cubed ham. This time I had some ham, so I did not buy my little package of cubed ham. to use. So I've got about a cup. Let's see what... Okay, we want salt and pepper to taste. A very easy casserole to put together. I think it would go well for a crowd or just your at home. And half or so a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. And I shredded up some light and darker. I'm going to put the rest of this on top. And if you've got any other seasonings, herbs that you like to add to casseroles, I'm going to put in some minced parsley. You can use fresh, you would use double over the dried. Okay, this goes into about, this is an 11 by 7-ish size casserole. A full recipe would go more into your 9 by 13.
That looks yummy. Looks almost good enough to eat like it is. Shoot.
Okay, finish it off with some more shredded cheddar cheese. The dark yellow makes a more contrast on top of things than the whiter cheddar cheese. I want to cover this. And bake it in a 350 degree oven. Right now I'm putting it into the 375, so I would cook it normally for about 40 minutes. It may take a little bit less time being at a higher temperature. 25 degrees is for casseroles is not a big deal.
For my cookie bars, I've made a glaze of a cup of confectionery sugar, a tablespoon of whole milk, and a zest of 1 lemon. And I mixed it all up, and now I'm going to drizzle it all over the bars. I gotta get a spatula. Just a second. I gotta get a fork. Excuse me, Nancy. Oh, that's okay. Okay, that's all there is for the glaze. It goes on the cookie bars. And you'll let that set for a little while. And when we come back, we'll be at our table. Let's see.
Welcome back to our table. Today we made a couple of yummy looking recipes. Mine was a veggie noodle ham casserole. Very easy to put together. Just cooking up some wide noodles and then mixing those noodles with a can of cream of chicken soup and some milk to make it thinner, and added a cup of frozen corn, thawed, but with corn season coming in the next month or two, I would use some fresh corn. And then also a cup of California blend vegetables, which is the carrot, broccoli, and cauliflower, and that was frozen at this point. And then some cubed, fully cooked ham. I had some ham, a nice ham steak, so I didn't buy my little package of already cubed ham this time. And then some shredded cheddar cheese and seasoning, and all that is mixed together and put in a baking dish, put in the oven, of course. I sprinkled some more shredded cheddar cheese on top at that point, but you can cover it and cook it for about 40 minutes. Uncover it and put the cheese on, put it back in the oven, and cook it for another 10 minutes or so to melt the cheese. And it comes out smelling good and looking yummy with your vegetables and your ham, your meat, all in one casserole. So I'm turning it over to Gordy.
To add to Nancy's casserole, I made cherry pie cookie bars, and they're made with sugar. You make a dough for the bottom of sugar and butter and orange zest, and you mix them together, and then you add 2 eggs, and then vanilla and flour, baking powder, salt, and I mixed it all together with 2 tablespoons of milk, whole milk, and 1 can of cherry pie filling. I mixed it all up, put it all together, flattened out some dough on the bottom, spread some cherry pie mix on top, and added some of the rest of the dough that I had left over, and baked it for 35 to 40 minutes. Took it out and cooled it, and then I made a glaze of a cup of confectionery sugar, a tablespoon of whole milk, and zest of 1 lemon, and I waited till it cooled down, and then when it was cool, I drizzled the glaze over the bars, and this is what they look like when they're all done. So if you would like any of these recipes, please send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Dalton Community Cable, 151 Park Avenue, Dalton, Mass. 01226, and that is all from our kitchen today. Have a great day.